think I need a tissue. What's going on, beer lovers? Welcome to another episode. I'm Jeff.
I'm Justin, and today our beer journey has taken us to Upland, California. In the heart of downtown Upland is their newest brewery, Rescue Brewing.
Rescue Brewing has only been open for a few months, and they've already got a huge buzz going. Justin, are you ready to try some good beers?
Let's have some beer.
Let's have some beer.
So why is it named Rescue? Here comes today's history lesson about Rescue Brewing. The reason why it's called Rescue is because it takes the two passions of their two owners, Nikki and Neil. One is very heavily involved in first responders, you know, your police, your fire, your ambulance, your paramedics. And the other one is really into pets and rescuing and adoption and veterinary care. So what do you do when you take those two names together? Rescue comes shaking out of that. And that's exactly what this place is a beacon of. First responders, caring for pets. They have pet adoption days. They do this wall that salutes all their events, and they give back to the community through a portion of their proceeds. And it is an amazing, amazing place to get a drink. Just look at this place. It's amazing. So will the beer stack up? Let's try them right now and find out.
The first beer up here at Rescue Brewing is a Belgian-style Witbier. This has got orange peel and coriander in it. It's 5.2%. It's got a fantastic color. I'm really excited to try this beer. Justin and I had to fight for it, and I got the first choice. So here we go. Cheers. Man, there is something about Belgian malts. I just love the flavor that comes out of them. They're so rich, so distinct. I mean, you can really pinpoint what Belgian malts taste like. The orange peel is quite subtle. The coriander actually kind of comes out a little bit more than the orange peel does. But overall, this is light. It's very drinkable. This is something I would love to have on a hot summer day. I mean, the refreshability factor on this alone is incredible. Great way to start the day.
All right, guys, my first beer up is the Batch Zero. It's a session at 5.1%, clean like the last one that Jeff had. But this looks delicious, guys. If it's anything like that last one, I'm in for a treat. Cheers. A good piney resonance right at the splash at the beginning. It's light, it's crisp, which you wouldn't expect from a session. It's still 5.1%, but like the last one, it finishes a little bit clean, but there's that little undertone of bitterness on your tongue, and it lingers, but it's not overwhelming. I don't want to take like a drink of water. It's just refreshing, it's crisp, it's clean. You get those good pine flavors. Overall, really, really good. All right, guys, so a little behind the scenes. After the camera goes off, me and Jeff drink it a little bit. We talk about it a little bit some more. Jeff noticed something that I didn't, and it's this tea flavor. You get like a lemony tea, like oolong tea, right on the undertones of it. You really don't notice it until you have a couple sips of it, but it's really, really delicious and really complex. I've never had like a tea flavor before in a beer, but it's really, really good. As much as I love this beer, I love it even more now.
The next beer up is called Clear Skies IPA. This is an American style IPA, 7.5%. Now, it's got a great amber color to it, crystal clear. I'm so used to trying hazy IPAs that it's gonna be a nice change of pace to try a regular American style IPA. So here we go, cheers. Wow, that's fantastic. Here's the thing, with this IPA, you are getting all the hops up front. It's right there with the body. You're getting pininess, you're getting fruitiness, huge citrus notes in here, and it packs a huge punch. It's balanced out with the malts. The malts are light, but they're there. You know that they're there. And the cool thing is right towards the end, the hoppy bitterness kind of dissipates, and it creates just a beautifully clean finish. This is probably one of the cleanest finishes on an IPA I think I've ever had.
Alright guys, so I have here their Amber Ale. It's 6.1% and it's American style, compared to an Irish one that Jeff's going to be trying later. So, you know, we love our red ales and we seem to find some really, really good ones. I hope this one will stack up. Cheers. Just one of those you feel like you're in a pub just drinking this beer. It is so like pubby good. It's malty, it's rich, it's got that good velvety feel to your tongue, and it just goes down smooth. I mean, I can't think of a lot of red ales that I would like to have more than this, but it's definitely in that discussion. But, you know, it's just solid. It's nothing special to it. It's a solid, great amber ale, and that's what you want. Something good and solid. It's a rock.
Well, guys, the next beer up is a doozy. It's called Golden Reilly. It's an 8.9% ABV, and it's an Imperial double IPA. 8.9% is really high up there. I don't know how I feel about it, but I do love hops, so I don't know. Let's just try it and find out. Cheers. So it does have quite a bit of a boozy presence to it. It's not overpowering, but you can tell this is a high gravity beer. Now, the actual flavor itself is very sweet. That rye comes through, the hops comes through, and it creates like a sweet, sugary, fruity kind of taste to it. And then right towards the finish, all of a sudden that sweetness dissipates and you get that bitter, bitter, hoppy finish. I mean, it's probably not going to be my go-to beer, especially since it's 8.9. I could probably only have a couple of these, but still a good beer nonetheless.
So guys, next up I have the Porter. It's 6.1%, good old style American Porter. You know how I love going to the dark side, and this is going to be a good one. I can just look at it now and tell you that. Cheers. So right on the nose, you get a lot of smoky qualities to it. When you taste it, you get this sweet but roasted quality on the beer. It's phenomenal. This is a beer that takes you places. You get the smoky, you get the sweet, you get the roasty, the toasty, all the good stuff. And dang. Jeff's gonna be lucky if you can get a sip of this off me, because it is delicious and it goes down quick.
My next beer up is called Jerry's Juice. Jerry's Juice? Am I seriously drinking Jerry's? I'm drinking Jerry's Juice. Oh God. Anyways, Jerry's Juice is a red ale. It's 6.8%. It's got the most beautiful dark red color to it. Been really getting into red ales recently, so let's give it a shot. Cheers. Man, this is smooth drinking. 6.8%, no way. There's no way this is 6.8%. Jerry's Juice goes down nice and smooth. Come on, it's Jerry's Juice. I have to. Anyways, the malt bill on this is just rich, it's sweet, it's full-bodied, and the cool thing is right after you get towards the finish, everything just like dissipates. It's like you're drinking water all of a sudden. Makes for a high drinkability factor. The hops are there, they're extremely subtle. They're kind of there on the back end, but as I said, it's like drinking water. You just barely get them. All in all, I mean, this is a very, very drinkable red ale for sure.
All right guys, I have something special here. I know because I've tried it before. Spoiler alert. This is their cream ale. It has orange peel and vanilla beans and it weighs in at 5%. Now this, I can tell you right now, is gonna be something fantastic. And if you come here, you're gonna have to get it, and I'll tell you why right now. Cheers. It's like a creamsicle in a glass. Now, we've had our creamsicle ales before, most notably at Aftershock. This one I think is on par, maybe even a little bit better than that one. because I get a lot more orange with that. The vanilla is a nice undertone, but the creaminess, it just is all over your tongue, all over your mouth, and it just leaves this great velvety texture to it. And I just love the taste, the flavor, the texture, everything about this beer. It's really, really, really good.
Well guys, the next beer up is an Imperial Stout. It's 9%. It's black as the night. I am a little bit scared and a little bit excited to try this out. 9%. Here we go. Cheers. Oh. Whoa. Oh. All right, so if you want my honest opinion, this isn't the best beer I've had here. This isn't the best beer, even by a long shot. This is probably my least favorite. This is my least favorite here so far. It's really boozy. I mean, it's really boozy. You get the malts, but it's almost like you lose the malts in the booziness. There's a slight sweetness in the beginning, but then you just get punched in the face with this high ABV. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's a little too much for me. I'm not a huge fan of Imperial Stouts as it is, so for those of you who are, you would probably have a different interpretation of this beer than I would. But if it comes to the average viewer, the average beer lover, this is probably one that you could steer clear from and you'd be just fine missing out on it.
Alright guys, so next up is the Cadet 2.0. It's a Czech style Pilsner at 5.9%. That's pretty strong for a Pilsner. This Cadet may have some bite to him, may have some fight to him. Let's check it out, guys. As good as that Witbier was, I think this might be better as far as drinkability and refreshing goes. It's a great style Pilsner. You get a little bit of that bitterness at the back end, but overall just so crisp, so clean, so refreshing, and it just goes down like water, guys. Oh. And at 5.9, this is a total sneaker. I don't taste anything like that. Yeah, I could be drinking some of those other, beers that you get at the store that we're not going to mention by name. This goes down so much cleaner, so much better. I want to have these all day long, especially in the summer. This is the perfect summer pool beer.
So this next beer is a doozy. It's a coconut milk IPA. Now it's 6.6%. I don't even care about the ABV. How do you fuse coconut milk in an IPA? To me, it just doesn't make sense. But you put two things that I love together in a beer, I have to try it. So here we go, coconut milk IPA. Cheers. I think I need a tissue. I think I need a tissue.
Or his pants.
I'm legitimately, I think I'm crying. I think I'm crying. Oh my God. Whew. All right, I'm good. All right. Wow. Okay, guys, hold on. So, this beer, to be honest with you, I thought it was gonna be a total flop. Like, I'm thinking coconut, I'm thinking IPA, I'm like, two flavors that should never go together. Well, here's the thing. They do. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. It's that nice raw coconut flavor. It's not like the sweet part of a coconut. You're not drinking like a Mounds. This tastes like somebody took a giant coconut, cut open the top, poured out all the milk, and poured a beer in place of it. It is literally a beer in a coconut. Something about the malts and that coconut flavor mix so beautifully that the hops is just kind of there as like an assistant, but the rest of the beer is, it's a coconut beer with some hoppy bitterness. I mean, they did it. I don't know how, but they did it. This is a beer, if you guys get out here to Upland and you come to Rescue Brewery, you gotta try this beer. You've gotta try this beer.
All right, guys, we've taken a turn to the haze with our last beer. It's a Belgian blonde. This is the Orange Blossom Honey Blonde, and it weighs in at 7%. Now, I mean, hazy, crisp, orange, blossom, honey, come on. This is like everything I'm all about. And 7% should be a good kicker. Let's try it, guys. Now, you heard Jeff rant and rave about the Coconut Milk IPA, and I know that's going to probably be his favorite beer of the day. If he didn't try that, this probably would have been his favorite. It's crisp. It's, you know, it has those good orange honey flavors. It goes down real smooth. It is a little boozy, I will give it that, but still, it's insanely tasty and insanely drinkable. And, I mean, there's not much more I can say. They make some kick-ass beers here at Rescue, and this is just another one that goes alongside of them. Is it my favorite one of the day? Probably not, but it's still solid, and very, very good. If you're at all a Belgian style type of fan, definitely the beer you want to try. All right, guys, so we have tasted all the beers. Time to pass judgment. Jeff, what was your favorite today?
All right, guys, so we had a lot of great beers today. The Belgian style Witbier, the Porter, but at the end of the day, I mean, for me it was a no-brainer. I mean, it was so good, it brought tears to my eyes. I did the Coconut Milk IPA. Now,
well, is that not surprising?
Right. So here's the thing. This beer tastes like someone took a coconut, cut it open, poured out the milk, and replaced it with beer. You are drinking beer in a coconut. It's just, I don't know. I would have never thought in a million years that this beer would work. And somehow Rescue has figured out a way to blend two of my favorite things in the world into one thing, and I love them for it. Great job, guys. Justin, why don't you tell them your favorite?
Guys, so full disclosure, I came here when there was a soft opening back in June. I tried some of those beers like the Porter, which I loved, the Cream Ale, which I loved. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's so many good home runs, but the biggest one had to be the Coconut IPA. It's just so good, so unique, and I don't know another brewery that's doing something like this. It's delicious. It tastes so good and it goes down clean. It is probably the best use of coconut I've ever had in a beer. And that is saying that we've had the Coconut Porter from Maui Brewing. We've had a lot of good coconut beers. This is probably the king.
Yeah, if you're a coconut fan, especially a coconut fan in beer, you've got to come to Rescue. You've got to get your hands on this beer, because wow, it's saving lives one day at a time.
I mean, even if you're not a big fan of coconut, if you can just tolerate the taste of coconut, this is probably the best interpretation, but especially if you're an Almond Joy, a Mounds, a coconut fan in general, no beating it at all.
And it's not that toasted coconut flavor, and it's not the sweet candied coconut flavor. This is raw coconut.
Fresh.
And
Just took the machete and whacked open the husk.
Yeah, it's just, man, I could drink this all day long and I would probably be drunk because I would have 6 or 7. But I mean, at the end of the day, holy crap, man, this is everything I want in a beer. Now, I do want to discuss the fact that the hop presence in this is there, but it's not even close to the star.
It's like playing third trombone in the orchestra.
It really is. It's still, I mean, as you well know, I mean, this is our favorite beer here. It tastes phenomenal. The hops is not there as much as I would expect for an IPA. It has a place, but it's not there. So if you're looking for a bitter, hoppy coconut IPA, it's not quite that. I would say more than anything, it's a coconut ale with hops added, if that makes sense. There is bitterness in there. It's mostly on the back end. You do notice the hops, but more than anything, I mean, you are getting raw coconut and delicious malted barley.
And that being said, with all of our love for the coconut IPA, there are so many great beers here. The porter I love just almost as much as this. The cream ale as well, that Batch Zero Session IPA, fantastic.
Yeah.
You just can't go wrong with a lot of the beers that they have here at Rescue Brewing. And if you come, you won't be disappointed. You're in for an amazing experience with some really nice people.
And guys, they've been open for like 3 months. Like, this place is brand new.
Give it some time.
And these aren't people with a huge brewing history. You know, this is a couple that started this brewery, which is extremely reminiscent of Barley Forge.
Yeah.
For me, reminds me a lot of the couple from Barley Forge. I love them to death.
Marianne and Greg, cheers to them.
Yeah, cheers, guys. You know, it's great to see somebody who is passionate about beer decide to take on, you know, the microbrew community and really make a name for themselves. I mean, in 3 months, imagine what they're going to be putting out here in a year.
Or two. And
Yeah.
the thing is, not only are they giving back to the brewery community, they're giving back to their own community. The city of Upland, I mean, they're trying to revitalize their downtown section, which has gone down by the wayside over the past few years, but they're trying to bring it back. How can you say no to that? Especially with pet adoptions, with the love that they give for first responders. This is probably one of the best breweries in Southern California, and you're going to do yourself a good favor when you bring yourself here and trying some of their beers.
Yeah, it's really cool. And while we were here, there were several members of the military coming in, and they get a warm welcome, and there's stuff on the wall, you know, commemorating, you know, the service of all the people that fought for this great country. And then on top of that, there's a sign right next to the taps that says firefighters, police, military discounts. Like, this is a place that welcomes the people who serve us and protect us. I think that's really awesome, and I think I could cheers to that.
Cheers to them.
Cheers.
All right, guys, so that'll do it for us from Rescue Brewing in Upland, California.
We had some amazing beers here. Thank you, Alexis, for your hospitality. You were awesome. And thank you, Rescue Brewing. We loved your beers, especially that Coconut Milk IPA. I'm gonna be dreaming about it for weeks.
So if you guys love this episode, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and let us know down in the comments if you've been to Rescue Brewing and what your favorite beer is from here. All right, guys, so I'm Justin.
I'm Jeff.
And we will see you guys next time on Let's Have Some Beer.
Cheers.